Verna McClain finds both a new life and a new love in Houston, Texas.
He was cute, he was young, he was just what she was looking for.
And her desire to keep him will drive her to the extreme.
Verna's gonna get whatever she wants, even if someone has to die.
Verna did all of this for one reason, and that was to keep a man in her life.
And later in Florida, Shakita Jones falls hard for a sweet-talking Romeo.
Jesse was this guy who seemed to be what any young woman would desire.
Whose out-of-control drug habit forces her into a life of crime.
Miss Jones brought a gunman, violence, and greed to that gas station. She knew that somebody was going to be robbed.
Shakita Jones did what her boyfriend wanted.
Look at that.
There are hundreds of thousands of women in prison at any given time in the U.S. These are the true stories of women who committed heinous crimes in the name of love. For my man. As a young child growing up in a single-parent home in Oakland, California, Verna McClain always felt that she could lean on her mother.
Her mom was the one that was the role model in her life. Her mom was the main focus of her life. They were very close.
But when Verna's mother and sister leave her behind to move to Houston, Texas, the now 23-year-old is fine with it. She's fallen for a man named Theo McClain, who whisks her away to San Diego, where for the next 4 years, she splits her time between raising children and being a nurse.
This woman was a nurse, so her job was to take care of people professionally, but she also took care of them personally too. So certainly, this was someone who was giving, who was caring, who was a healer, really the salt of the earth.
And now, several years later, the 27-year-old's patience is wearing thin.
She was working over 60 hours a week.
She worked in nursing homes. She worked in child care facilities. The people that she worked with, everybody had great things to say about her.
But as much as Verna lives for taking care of people, her long hours are not born from a love of her job, but more out of necessity.
Her husband did not have a job. She was the breadwinner for the family. She had 3 children. She was the only one that was responsible for the kids. Without a doubt, she was tired of doing all of that.
One summer day, Verna reaches her breaking point and decides it's time for a change.
I'm out of here. I can't live like this, and neither is my child.
She tells her husband she's taking the kids to visit her mother and sister in Houston, Texas, and never looks back.
Verna may have decided to move looking for a better life, moving to a new city where perhaps she could meet new people and find the love of her life.
By all accounts, Verna was a very responsible person and a very nurturing person. When Verna moved to Texas, this was an opportunity to completely reinvent herself.
After setting herself and her kids up in her mother's home, Verna lands a job with a home health care service.
She ended up eventually working for a company that treated or cared for high-risk children.
Once Verna is settled in Houston, the scenery isn't the only thing that changes. A new city means it's also time for a new Verna. Long gone is the plain Jane nurse who lived for others.
You saw her become someone that she wasn't in San Diego. Makeup always done, hair always done. She started wearing wigs constantly. She became somebody she thought she wanted to be.
This was an opportunity to reinvent herself, to be what she always had wanted to be. This exciting woman, known for her looks, known for her beauty. And so she did everything in her power to create that image.
For the first time in her adult life, Verna isn't tied down to one man. So she plays the field with men she meets online, using them to fulfill her most basic desires.
Perhaps one man provided what she needed sexually. Perhaps another man provided what she needed romantically.
That allowed her to kind of become the Verna that she